What's up, guys? Orcas here, and today, finally gotten around the the Bad Batch video. If you didn't know, I've been a little sick, so I didn't get it yesterday when I easily could have. I was just feeling not the best, and I still honestly feel the same, but I didn't want to delay the video any longer. So this will definitely be a briefer video. At least I'll try to keep it briefer. We got the Bad Batch season 3 episode 5 video, or not video, episode yesterday. And I gotta say, this was definitely my favorite out of all of them so far. We finally picked things up. It was really cool seeing Crosshair with the Bad Batch, and we got Echo with the Bad Batch as well. Just really good to see. And I'm pretty sure the name of the planet they got back on is Barton 4 or something. The ice planet, kind of like Hoth, but first I'll get into the beginning. Crosshair and Omega are finally with the Bad Batch again. They're reunited, and they're on Pabu, meeting Echo there to discuss the plan in order to, get some information on the base. But before that, we kind of get an interaction with Crosshair. He's out on the beach doing target practice with AZ. That was kind of cool to see. And we notice something's wrong with his hand. His hand just keeps getting worse. His accuracy is way down. So something's wrong with his hand. It's probably from the M count intake and what they were experimenting on with Crosshair. Or some of the experiments that Dr. Hemlock did with him. So we see that he's becoming kind of, useless, maybe. Like, his accuracy is not that good. 53% is what AZ said. But we see that he's kind of got some inner turmoil. He kind of just did that to get away, even though he said he just did it for practicing. And Omega's like, yeah, you're going to have to talk to them. And he just thinks they don't trust him. And we do kind of see that. Wrecker trusts him again because, Omega trusts him, and that's good enough for him. But Hunter obviously isn't so convinced. He thinks there's some suspicious going on with Crosshair. And they kind of do that throughout the whole episode. But then they finally get back and meet Echo. It's a good reunion. Crosshair is definitely lightened up a little bit, though. He's kind of got a sense of humor. He kind of cracks a joke with Echo. And he kind of has a moment with Omega where Hunter didn't want her to come along to the mission. And she kind of has a little talk with Crosshair about it. And he's like, he's just trying to protect you. So he kind of has Crosshair, or Hunter's and Omega's back there. And then Omega gives a snippy remark, kind of like how Ahsoka would. And he laughs at it. He chuckles when back in the day, he definitely would have just scowled. Like, it's cool to see that he's really lightened up, though. Like, he's gotten a lot more friendly with her. And I really do think he considers Omega one of his family now, which is cool to see. But they get on Barton 4, and he gets his armor back. It's really cool to see his Phase 4 armor back. That was really cool to see. I really liked that. But then Hunter and Crosshair get into a little fight before the mission starts. Hunter questioning him more and Crosshair fighting back. It was just, you can tell they definitely weren't getting along, and Hunter especially was still very suspicious of him. He thinks there's something about the place that he's not telling them. So they arrive on Barton 4, and Crosshair definitely is having some flashbacks of what he did on that planet. He looks up and sees the ice bird or vulture. I think that vulture really signifies his freedom from the Empire, or how much he's changed. Because you see that bird a lot in the Outpost episode where we last were on this planet. And the Outpost, by the way, is one of my favorite episodes of the show. So it's really cool to be back on this planet and be reminded of that spot. And but we get into the base, and we're like getting into the system and stuff, trying to get some information. They turn off the sensors, which was not a good idea because that was keeping something out. But I guess they did need to turn them off. But it was cool to see because Crosshair walks into another room and he finds Mayday's helmet along with Veach, and I forgot the other guy's name. It was maybe Nex or something. I don't remember. I think it started with an N, but yeah, it was really touching to see that. And he picks up their helmets and props them up on like a thick crate or something to like give them a post or like honor and stuff. It was really cool to see. And Hunter sees this and he's like, yeah, something definitely happened with Crosshair on this planet. But then they get their spots because something's up. They get spied up somewhere. Crosshair, actually no, I think Crosshair just walks outside for some reason, and Hunter follows him, and he's about had it at this point. He's like, "All right, Crosshair, what's up?" And he gives him a little shove, and he's like, "Yeah, tell us what happened on this planet." And he's like, "Did you betray the Empire like you betrayed us?" And Crosshair's had enough at this point. He's like, "You're just mad because I escaped with Omega and you didn't." And he's like, "You failed the mission. You're the reason that Omega got kidnapped, and that's why you're mad with me." So he's like, "I tried to warn you, Hunter, but you didn't listen. And that's why Omega got captured, and this is why you're mad at me. But you should be blaming yourself." And then the worm or whatever comes out, and Wrecker's like, "Why is it always a giant animal?" And it's like, yeah, that's a good point, Wrecker, because I'm kind of sick of it at this point. They always fight some freaking huge, insane animal monster. It seems every freaking every 3 episodes, even one every 2 episodes, they're always fighting this huge animal monster. It's just kind of gotten old, and that's why this episode isn't as high as I would have put it. I feel like there could have just been a better plot for that part. Like, it could have been really something else, but instead it just has to be this Arctic worm thing. So now Crosshair and Hunter have to work together to fight it off, and they have to get the sensors back on to drive it back away, because that's what was keeping the worm out. And they do, and then Hunter, they both kind of save each other, and they kind of have a glance. I've not mentioned Batcher, but Batcher is really a good part of this crew now too. He's literally their dog, and it's kind of fun to see. Batcher's a good addition to the Bad Batch. He's kind of gone unnoticed, but not really talked about as much. But he's a cool addition in my opinion. Pretty cool to see him. But yeah, like I said, they get that done. They get the information, at least some of the information they need or whatever. They're still not close to getting or finding Tantus, but they're getting closer. And then once they're getting back onto the ship to leave, Crosshair kind of apologizes. He says he thought he knew what he was getting into with the Empire, and that he thought he was being a good soldier, which is very reminiscent of the Outpost, where Mayday's like, "We followed orders, we were good soldiers, but what did that get us?" And yeah, it's like being a good soldier for the Empire isn't really being a good soldier. So it's like, yeah, he thought he knew what he was getting into, but he was wrong. And Hunter, he recognizes this. He's like, this whole Empire thing, I don't think any of us really knew what we were doing or getting into, but we've all made mistakes, but at least we recognize that, and once we're together and we figure this out, maybe there's hope for us. So it was a good, real good ending. There's hope for us yet. We can all change. I was watching Star Wars Theories live reaction as I always do, and he made that point. It's literally the theme of Star Wars is like we make terrible choices sometimes, but that doesn't define who we are. We can always change and be better, and there's always hope for us, we can always do better and be better. So it's a good, good message, really good message. I really liked this episode, definitely the best one. Crosshair was definitely a standout. I forgot to mention they did have, so Crosshair knows Tech is dead. Like, there's a lot of speculation, did Omega ever tell him in the prison? And she definitely did, because when they brought out Nalise's data pad and see if they got information on the Tantus base, it was like, we don't have all that information, we can't unlock it. But if we had Tech, it would have been a lot easier with Tech, but now he's gone or something like that. And they all kind of like have a little pause of silence and like a memoration of Tech. So, and Crosshair reacted to that too. So he definitely knows Tech is dead. He knew it before this for sure. So we just really never got that. But I think that's okay. I mean, I had a feeling Crosshair knew, like, Omega already did tell him, but we just never saw it, which is fine. I don't mind that much. But again, this was a great episode, except I think the plot could have been a little better. Like, it was kind of confusing. Like, why are we going to Barton 4 for all this? What do we even need? What did we even get? I can't even remember. Like, it really wasn't that important. I feel like it just kind of felt like we were doing nothing, but I still liked it. Still has some importance. Like, we weren't just doing there. We didn't just go to Barton 4 to do nothing, obviously. Obviously, something important came out of that. And again, the interactions between Crosshair and Hunter were great. So I really liked this episode. Again, this will be it. I would rate this episode. Let me get my sheet out, see what I would give it. I think I would give it probably either an 8.4 or like a 8.3, 8 or 9. I think it was really good. Definitely around an A-, I would say. Maybe a B+ because of the lacking plot and mission, but I still think it was good. I like the messages. So definitely by far my favorite episode of the show so far, or of the season so far, and I hope it gets even better, which I think it will. I'll bet we see someone like Ventress or Fennec or someone else before the mid half of this season. So yeah, with that being said, I'll get this up for you guys. Again, I apologize. I do not sound as good or collected because I'm still sick, but thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you for the next Bad Batch episode review.